Hello everybody, Blue Dooley, and we are back on the 53, and we're working on final assembly. I just did a little bit of trimming and had to adjust my rails for my underglow, but we'll get you into it. We're finishing up the last little bit of bodywork and paint, and then all I have to do is solder bajillion wires and program all the lights. But it will be done in this video. So let's jump to it. So first up, I got the cab mounted. It's not all put together yet, but it is sitting here. These are the racing lights that I ground the lens protectors off of. And I'm really happy with the way they look. I need to paint the little bushings I got them sitting on. And that'll be good to go. I did unfortunately get a little bit of paint damage, but mirror brackets are in place. All the accessories are in place. The visor is getting painted right now. I had to do a lot of sanding on it to kind of clean it up. But gunmetal stacks. So my underglow rails went straight, but I forgot that the body actually sits lower than where these mount. So I actually bent them in and then kind of did a zigzag to get them to clear the cab. I did have to notch the bottom there a little bit. So we're working on wiring, getting all the wiring to clear the cab. So I have my ribbon cable here for all the lights on the back of the truck. I need to solder up the power and ground for the sound kit, as well as the winch controller, which the winch controller is actually going to mount underneath the battery box. But the servo leads for the wheel lift, I'm going to run down one side of the chassis. I'll run the lights down the other side of the chassis and tuck everything up real good and zip tie everything up. There is a fuse for the sound kit itself, the sound and light kit. But I had everything kind of zip tied to the motor wires, but that just created too big of a hump here. So that'll tuck everything in a little better. And it's going to be impossible to see, but the wheel studs and nuts are all flat black. And of course, the spikes are on the front. But except for that little bit there, a little bit of bleed through. I'm mostly happy with the paint. This is a candy, and candies are just really hard if you're not good at paint. So the doors for the toolboxes don't quite match, but that's just the way it is when I tried to do a lot more than I probably should have. But we are working on the wheel lift. I just finished making a few adjustments to it so it'll get painted. And yeah, so I think I'm going to finish doing the last little bit of wiring and stuff out here in the garage, and then we'll go inside and start wiring up all the lights. Well, the first clip was filmed at about 3. It's now 7:45. I had to go get a new soldering gun, and it took me forever to find some small screws for the mirrors for the cab, so I've spent most of the day not getting a goddamn thing done. But I got the connector unsoldered, and the gun just wouldn't get hot enough to melt the solder to resolder the connector. So yeah, 2 different stores to get a new soldering iron. But now hopefully we can get the plug soldered up so we can get on to the rest of the stuff. Yeah, I'm not exactly in a good mood at the moment, but I guess we'll see what we get done tonight. Okay, that took no time at all with the soldering gun that works. So a red and a black run over here to the buyer. I'm not sure how good you can see, there's a green light in there. So that has an inline fuse. And then the other red and black is for the winch controller, which has power. And while there's no sound hooked up, the servos will still do their thing. So all that is good. So now we can actually start hooking up lights finally. So we're gonna probably move inside to do that. Well, the video's late because it's now Sunday, and I usually upload before I'm filming this clip. But I gave up at about 11 o'clock and went to bed. So I got most of the back end of the truck finished by this point. I need to wire up the LEDs underneath the light bar and put a plug on them. But I also did not take into account that adding 2 more turn signals would use up my underglow slot. So the underglow will have to be on the ribbon cable for the front end of the truck. And I got enough little connectors I can connect that stuff easy enough so I can unplug it. But boy, the new soldering iron has made life a lot better because it heats up a lot faster than that old one did. And it actually has 2 heat settings on it. You can pull the trigger part way. It does a lower temperature setting, which is great for the little ribbon wire and the LED wire. And if you pull it all the way, it heats up really fast to its higher setting, and actually made short work of soldering up that battery connector. So while it was a pain in the butt to go find a new one, at least the new one works really well. So we got a heck of a mess going on right now. And Trek's in the background, who isn't going to do anything for the camera today. So the buyer system is on negative switched. So the white and black are actually positive. And I upped it to a larger gauge wire because we'll have the front of the box will have 2 turn signals in it. And then park lights, left turn, right turn, reverse, light bar, work lights. So that uses up all of those functions. The other thing I also did is Red Cat had it red, white, red. So I moved both the reds to the outside and moved the whites towards the center, just to do it a little different. And I think their light kit might have 1 red as a brake and 1 red as a turn. But the buyer unit can do combined brake and turn. So both of these are brake and turn, and then just reverse. So I still have a ton of soldering to do, which I'm not going to bore you with because there are plenty of soldering videos out. You can see my mess of stripped ends. But we'll get I'll get the wires buttoned up and then we'll come back. Okay, we'll see how good the lights work here. I don't have the fog lights in their lenses yet, but all the lights are working. So now it's time to tidy up the mess, and the only lights I don't have installed right now are the lights for the toolboxes, but I have them wired in to the controller, so I'll just have to plug them in once I do. And the buyer has 16 light outputs, and I used 15 of them. So I still have a function left if I want to add another type of light to the truck later on. So I need to do a little programming with the radio and a little more fine tuning with the buyer so the turn signals will start working. But yeah, next time you see this truck in this video, it'll be completely put together. So there we are, laying frame. The truck's 90% done. The interior, I'm still waiting for some glue to dry, and I ran out of paint. So I have one piece of diamond plate left to paint. But all the lights work, the sounds work. I still need to do a little fine tuning on some lights and some sounds. But the truck's plugged in, so how about we fire her up? So there's the lights and the sound. The underglow I was hoping to have on its own channel, but I think I'm gonna have to switch to iBus on the receiver. Random air brake or air dryer sound. So let me go get one of my crawlers and we'll actually do the wheel lift, which I'm sure is what most people have been wanting to see on this truck. I painted it up and I put a little trailer ball on there. So So that's kind of where it stows at. And just as we get to the good part, the GoPro does friggin' GoPro things, and I don't know what happened. It quit recording entirely. So thankfully I was able to pull off the stuff off the memory card, which is a bummer. Unfortunately, it's not strong enough to pick up the truck, so that's probably just a miscalculation on my part on the servo, plus that linear actuator's kind of at a goofy angle. So I think I'm going to maybe put a winch underneath the truck to run it. That's going to do it for this video. I apologize it's late, and I apologize, the cool part, the GoPro didn't record. So we'll catch you in the next one.